The quote and verse of the day is, "For as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is," which basically means like whatever in someone's heart, that's who they're gonna be. No matter what they're trying to put on a facade for you, like trying to pretend to be your standards, whatever in his heart is gonna come out. Like if he's a liar, he eventually gonna begin to start lying. If he's selfish, that selfishness is finna start showing in different areas. No matter if I'm the most giving person. Whatever a person is in their heart, that's who they will be. Hey, my loves. So today's topic is, I don't know if people were really listening, but I said controlling your thoughts. And that's not today's topic. So that's going to be a topic for a different day. So what was put on my heart is the importance of setting standards. So I don't know how many of y'all, including me, like I'm doing this. Some of these things I'm doing today right with everybody. Because yes, I've listened to stuff about it, but that don't mean I've set my own. So I'm gonna set my standards today. And the thing about standards, don't even you never want to tell a man your standards, because sometimes they'll play that part like, oh, she needs me to act like this, that, and that. And that's the thing, they gonna act like it. Because I'll never forget my last job, this man asked me, so if you decided to bake a man, what ingredients would you put? And I was like, what? Like, what kind of question is that? I don't know. But you see, he was trying to get me to say, all I wanted in a man so he could pretend to be that man. No, don't tell. You gotta test them by, in your heart, you know what you want from them. And if they don't do that, that's them failing the test, for example, even at a job, you see what they offer you, and if this job is really they want you on the team because they picked you out to be special, and you test them by saying oh no, I want higher pay and I actually want to get off at a certain time, that's not the job for you if they don't, abide by your standards, period. So the importance of setting standards is you'll be able to dictate and determine what you will and won't accept. You gotta determine your deal breakers, because other than that, you don't know why you're staying. You're just staying. If you haven't already decided in your mind, lying is a deal breaker for me. I'm gonna leave you. The moment you lie to me, I check you, and you lie to me again, that means it's time for me to go. My time's here is up. Or, the moment my man cheats on me, that's a deal breaker. It's time for me to go, and I ain't looking back. So standards are your personal things. You can never allow someone to tell you your standards are impossible or you're doing too much. Just because that person don't have the faith to believe that that's what they deserve and they could get treated like that, that don't mean your standards are unrealistic. If you don't want your man to curse or literally curse at you, that's a standard you could write. I don't want you to yell at me with a disagreement. That's something you could write. It's nothing that's just too out of this world. That's a standard. Some things are preferences and other things are literal standards. And so you got to do that in relationships, friendships, and jobs. Anything in life that you want to have a standard for, you could do that. Just like you have probably a standard for how you want your room kept clean, or a standard for how you want your computer to function. These are the basic things you need from this computer. If it don't do that, you're not going to buy that laptop. So it's the same with a man. And this man not functioning the way I need him to function, this is not going to be my date. This is not going to be my husband. Period. And so you have to set standards what you will or won't tolerate, because you'll be able to weed out these people kind of instantly. You go on a date with them and you telling them I'm staying abstinent from sex, and they bringing up or they start trying to feel on your inner thighs and stuff. You're like, dude, I just told you. See, that's the thing. Also with your standards, people is gonna test you. As soon as you put out into the universe, like, I'm not doing this or that, here comes the test to see if you really about that life. People want to see if you truly who you say you are, if you're gonna stick to your rules and abide by them. Like, that's just like, soon as you say like, hey, I want to go vegan, here now it's all these meats coming around in your face, chicken, beef, and you're like, man, I just said I was about to go vegan, and I got a whole platter of all these kinds of foods. But that's what you get. You're gonna get tested by anybody you come into contact with to make sure, like, oh, this girl playing with herself, because 9/10 of people don't abide by their standards. That's just a fact. Like, it's just a fact in life, because it's hard unless you know your why. That's another thing. Listen. If you're gonna set a standard, people's gonna test that, and you gotta know your why. If your why is centered on something that's unstable, unmovable, you're gonna be ended up asking, how did I get here? Why did I sleep with them? Why am I back talking to them? Because your why has to be something as serious as, because in the Bible, God says, don't get drunk, or God says, to remain abstinent to your husband. And so you're like, well, that's what I'm doing. Because other than that, you might not have the commitment to really stick to it unless you really being serious about your beliefs. Because other than that, you're just gonna fall into that whole like, my why is just because I just don't want to. And it's like, they're gonna be like, girl, come here. They're gonna be like, girl, you just don't want to. That's just not enough. It's not enough substance behind your words. It's not enough power for you to stick to what you say. So the person is like, oh, this girl says she wanna wait. So let me try to fill up on her. Let me try to talk nasty to her. And then you falling for the bait, and now you back. You back doing things that you wasn't even supposed to be doing, because you want to fall for someone that was just testing you to see if they could get what they want. And they did, because you over here not taking it serious, just saying like, oh, I'm just stopping because I just want to. That ain't a good enough reason. Anytime that was my reason, then anything goes. You got to have something serious to back up why your standards are the way they're your standards. And so it's also, you got to be very intentional with your standards. Like, you don't want nobody yelling at you because of you don't yell at them. So you want reciprocation. That's like a standard. Like, you need reciprocation. If you know you're going to yell back at them, you really can't always tell someone what to do when you don't do that yourself. So you got to be intentional by what you said and intentional by doing whatever you want. You got to sometimes make sure you can reciprocate that level. Other than that, you just like a hypocrite. And so you save yourself years by having standards. You save yourself years, because when you call them out on that poor behavior, that cursing at you, and you trying to tell them, you basically got to see how they react to you calling them out. And so if they get mad at you and they don't just apologize and show you their apology with change behavior, you get to weed them out. Like, okay, I'm never talking to this person again, because that's a deal breaker for me. You don't want to change your way. You going to get mad at me for me getting mad at you. Oh, I'm saving myself years, and I'm getting out of this. I'm running so I won't get trapped. So yeah, girl, you gotta, And so you can end it right then and there. And so then you gotta know the pros and cons of having standards, because the commitment to the new way is just, you gotta understand like what you're willing and not willing to do, or understand what that person is capable of doing. So having standards and boundaries doesn't even drive away serious people. If this scares a person, then you already know that person ain't for you. And you know, they only want that thing, that thing, that thing. And so this ain't a serious person. They just, you know what they there for. You know what they about. They about that. So, because anybody who is respectful of you and your wishes isn't gonna get driven away like, oh, she thinks she too good. Man, please. And so you need to pray over your standards and then also say them out loud, like speak them into existence and over yourself, and make sure that's what you really want. And best believe that last spirit, that who's ever tested any of your standards, is gonna come back to see if that door is still open. You gotta shut that door. You gotta slam it, and you gotta let them know, nah, that door, party's over. The door is closed. That was my old standards. Them standards is not here today. I got some. It's a whole new. It's not. You gotta shut that door, because if that door is open, they finna sneak their way back in. Like, oh, she said she don't want to do this, and let me tempt her. Let me see if I still got a chance. No, you gotta shut that door. And you gotta look straight ahead into the next prospect's eyes, like, is you about this? So yeah, that's what you gotta do with these people. You gotta shut that door, because they will be back to test you. And if you fail the test, you just gonna feel so ashamed that you didn't stick by your word, and now you're kind of taken as a joke, and you got to start the process all over. That's if you even get out of what you done got yourself into, you know. So this was just a quick little video on setting standards. I'll probably do another one, a part 2 of maybe some of the standards that you may want to set for yourself. But I'm not gonna really put out my exact ones, because that attracts the wrong kind of people. People be pretending, people be deceitful. It's something personal. Your standards are personal in your own mind, so you can see what a person's heart is really about, because there is a quote